Students, we have finished first chapter of business studies earlier, but some of the student hasn't studied that chapter. So these are the PDFs and it is a video of the first chapter so that we can recapitulate the first chapter of business studies, that is nature and purpose of business. At the end of the chapter we will discuss some of the questions based on HOTS, that is higher order thinking skill, and we will study some very short answer question and short answer type questions. I am recapitulating this chapter since some of the student has missed this chapter, right? So let's recapitulate this chapter. In this chapter we will study about what is the nature and purpose of business. So what is the nature and purpose of business? Introduction. All human beings, wherever they may be, require different types of goods and services to satisfy their needs, right? Meaning of business is busy. Business is defined as an economic activity. It's an economic activity which involves production and sales of goods and services, undertaken with the motive of earning profit by satisfying human needs in the society. That is the meaning of business. What is business? It's an economic activity. Means it is not done for any charitable purpose, but it is done for earning something, right? It is not done for charitable purpose, it is done for earning something. So that's why it is known as an economic activity, right? So meaning of business is clear. What is business? It's defined as an economic activity which involves production and sales of goods and services undertaken with the motive of earning profits, right? Now let's carry on to the characteristics of business. Since we have studied the definition of business, from that only we can go through the characteristics or features of business activities or business. First, it's an economic activity. It means activity aimed at earning money, not for any charitable purpose. Second characteristic is production and procurement of goods and services. Business involves production and procurement of goods and services, right? Since any business can only be done when goods are exchanged, so it involves sale or exchange of goods and services, means transfer of title of goods from seller to the buyer, right? Then business involves dealing in goods and services on regular basis. Suppose I sell my TV to someone, right? I sell my TVs to someone and earn a profit. It is not considered as business because I have sold the TV on any one time, on any one basis. But dealing in goods and services on regular basis, that is only called business. Means I have to sell it again and again. If I am involving in any activity which involves selling of goods again and again, that is known as business, right? Then profit earning. Business is always aim at earning profit, right? Then uncertainty of earning. In business there is uncertainty of earning. You can never anticipate that how much will be the profit in the upcoming future, or whether we will earn profit or loss in the upcoming future, right? And last is there is always an element of risk. There is possibility of uncertainty of earning, so there is always an element of risk in the business. No risk, no profit, right? So business is an economic activity. It involves production and procurement of goods and services. It involves sale or exchange of goods and services. Sale of goods and services must be on regular basis. Business is done not for charity, it is done for profit motive. Then there is always an uncertainty of return, uncertainty of earnings, or uncertainty of returns in the business. Then there is always a presence of risk in the business. So is it clear? These were the definitions. This is the definition and characteristics of business. Is it clear? Right. Then in this chapter you will see that there was a comparative table given in your NCERT book, or you can study from these notes also. I am providing these notes to the students who are not having the books, or who are having the books but feel like these notes are better. So you can learn from this also. Comparison of business, profession and employment. What is the difference between business, profession and employment? Right? First, how to start? Based on entrepreneur or owner's decision. Owner take decision to start any business, right? Then profession, like CA, like doctors, you have to take membership from a professional body. Then for employment, getting an employment letter. These are the ways you can start your business. Then what is its nature? In business, there is always providing of goods and services to the public. But in profession, there is rendering of personalized expert services. You go to the doctor, you go to the lawyer, they give you advice as per your requirement. Then employment, you have to perform work as per your service contract. You cannot deviate from your service contract as long as you are in some employment. Then qualification, for business no minimum qualification is required. You just know how to add or subtract. That is enough for carrying on a small business. But for profession, it requires qualification and training in a specified field. And for employment, it requires qualification and training. Return. So can you tell what return you will get in business? You will always get a profit in business or loss. But in profession, you will get professional fees, visiting fees of a doctor, discussion with a lawyer, you will get fees. You will have to, if you are a doctor, you will get fees. If you are going to a doctor, you will have to pay fees. Then employment. Employment, the return that an employee gets is a salary, right? Capital, how much you need to start a business. Depending on the nature and size of business, you would be requiring a big capital, or you want to start a small business, then in that circumstances your capital will be less. However, in profession, it requires limited capital, right? But as far as employment is concerned, no capital is required, right? No capital is required because you have to work under an employer. Then risk is business, there is always an element of risk. Business can go for a long period of time, or it can be a loss making project also. But in profession, if you think, it is less risk, there is less risk. In employment, there is no risk, right? Since you are getting a permanent amount on monthly basis, right? Then transfer of interest, can you transfer business? You can transfer your business to someone else. Mr. A can transfer its business to Mr. B, can sell its business. But profession and employment, you cannot transfer it. Your CA degree cannot be given to some other person, or your doctorate degree cannot be given to transfer to some other person, right? So transfer is not possible. But in employment also it is not possible. You cannot let your job be exchanged by someone else, right? Then code of conduct. In business, there is no code of conduct prescribed. Whatever you feel comfortable, whatever you feel convenient, you transfer, you do your business accordingly. So there is no code of conduct, right? But in profession, there is always a code of conduct to be followed. And in employment, code of conduct is prescribed by the employer to be followed. You cannot do what you want. You have to work according to the terms and conditions of the employment. Whatever your employer say, you have to do accordingly, right? So is it clear? Difference between business, profession and employment, right? Then now let's discuss the classification of business activities. Business activity involve business, industry and commerce. Business, industry and commerce. What is an industry? What is an industry? We had studied. Industry means production or processing of goods and services. It is concerned with changing the form of products. It gives form utility to the products. It gives form utility to the products. Right? Anything which involves converting raw material into finished goods. Any firm, combination of firms that involve production or processing of goods and services, it is called an industry. Is it clear? Industry is divided into three parts: primary industry, secondary industry, and tertiary industry. Primary, secondary, tertiary industry, right? Extraction and production of natural resources and reproduction and development of living organism, plants, etc. Primary industry क्या है? What is primary industry? Which has raw material, which provide raw material, right? What is primary industry? Primary industry is an industry which involves extraction and production of natural resources, right? It provides raw material. Then secondary industry, processing of material got in the primary industry, means conversion of these material from here to there, conversion of raw material into finished goods, that is secondary industry. Is it clear? Then tertiary industry. Tertiary industry is that industry which provides support to both primary and secondary industry. Tertiary industry provides support to both. What is tertiary industry? Basically, it involves business services, right? When I call business services, what are the services provided by the business? Provided to the businesses? Banking, you can say insurance, transportation, warehousing, right? All are part of tertiary industry, which give a push to our secondary and primary industry, assist in primary and secondary industry. They are known as tertiary industry. Is it clear? So meaning is clear: primary, secondary and tertiary industry. Right? So let us now discuss. So what is primary industry? Involving raw material. Secondary industry, conversion of raw material into finished goods. Tertiary industry provides support to primary and secondary industry, right? So let us now discuss primary industry in detail. Primary industries are further classified into two types of industry: extractive industry and genetic industry. Extractive and genetic. So what is extractive? Mining, lumbering, hunting, fishing operation, etc. Right? Getting iron from iron ore, right? Coal from coal mine. It is extractive industry. And genetic, breeding plants and animals, poultry farming, fish hatchery, they are genetic industry. If you see, both genetic industry and extractive industry are concerned with raw things, right? They are concerned with raw things. Then secondary industry. Secondary industry involves manufacturing industry and construction industry. Manufacturing and construction. Secondary industry, manufacturing, production and processing of goods creating form utility. And construction industry consists of building, dams, bridges, etc. So we further classify manufacturing industry, that is a part of secondary industry which convert raw material into finished goods. Manufacturing industry are further divided into four parts: analytical, synthetical, processing, assembling. Analytical, synthetical, processing, assembling. Right? What is analytical industry? Separating different elements from the same material. Petrol, diesel. You know, petrol is refined many times before it becomes usable for our cars, right? It's an analytical industry. Then synthetical industry. It combines various ingredients. Example, cements, textile. Cement directly don't comes out from the earth. You have to mix certain elements from the earth to make a cement, right? To make cement, it is synthetical industry. Then processing industry involves series of activities: sugar, paper, recycling of paper, and other things to make a paper. It's a processing industry. Then assembling industry or computer, desktop computer, you have your mouse of some other company, your keyboard from some other company, right? Similarly for cars, assembling different components, right? It is assembling industry. Is it clear? If you see, when you get purchase any kind of car, you will understand that the body of the car and engine of the car, generally they belong to the same company, but beside that, tires, tubes, nuts and bolts, they belong to some other company, because they are being assembled to make a car of some company, of some brand. So it comes under assembling industry, right? Then now let's take out commerce. It includes all those activities which are concerned with removing all the hindrances of movement of goods from manufacturer to the consumer. What is commerce? All the things, all the activities which are concerned with movement of goods, which helps in movement of goods from manufacturer to the consumer and remove all the hindrances and obstacles which comes between manufacturer and consumer. It is known as commerce. Commerce is divided into two parts: industry and trade, right? Commerce is divided into two parts: industry and trade. What industry? In type of industry, you will see export and import, transport communication industry, banking, insurance, advertising, packaging, warehousing. And in trade, what is trade? Trade means exchange of goods and services between seller and buyer with profit motive. That is trade, right? Trade means exchange of goods and services between seller and buyer with profit motive. That is known as trade, right? Trade are divided into many parts: wholesale trade and retail trade, import and export, and entry port trade, right? All these definitions we have studied from NCERT. Wholesale trade, when the manufacturers sell goods to the wholesaler who purchases the goods in bulk. Retail trade, transferring of goods from retail shop holder to customer. Imports, purchasing from abroad. Export, selling to abroad. Entry port, purchasing from abroad and then selling to abroad, right? Importing from one country and exporting to other countries is known as entry port trade, right? After that, we had studied about auxiliaries to trade. This we had studied from NCERT. What are the auxiliaries to trade which support trade? These are also known as business services which support trade: transport and communication, banking and finance, insurance, warehousing, advertising. These are known as auxiliaries to trade, right? Is it clear? Which provide support to our trade, they are known as auxiliary to trade. You are familiar with all these terms, right? Then in the first chapter, we have studied about role of profit in business. It is a source of income for the businessman. It provides funds for expansion. It is an indicator of efficiency of businessman. It builds up reputation. All these are the role of profit in business. After that, we had studied about objectives of business. Why we do business? First, innovation. We want something new in the market. Productivity. The objective of business, one of the objective of business is increasing productivity, increasing production, so that we can compete with our competitor. Physical and financial resources. Arrangement of physical and financial resources is also objective of business. Without it, business cannot run. The earning profit is very familiar. You are very familiar with that. That objectives of business is earning profit. The manager performance and development. It is the objective of business that the people who are working in our organization, in our management, their skills can be enhanced. Then workers performance and attitude. Same for the workers. This is on some managerial position. This point. This is for the workers at factory level. We want their performance attitude to improve. Then social responsibility. We want to do something for our society also, right? Like selling eco-friendly products. That is a social responsibility. Do not create pollution. That is social responsibility of business. Then we had studied about business risk, possibility of inadequate profit or even losses during uncertainty or unexpected events. Due to uncertainty and unexpected events, that is known as business risks, right? Then we had studied about what are the causes of business risk. What are the causes of business risk? Natural causes, human causes like dishonesty, carelessness, economic causes, and other causes. All these are the causes of business risk. Then we had studied about what are the factors to be considered before starting a business. That was the last topic. Selection of line of business, right? Yes. So what are the things that you will keep in your mind before starting a business? First, selection of line of business. That is which business you want to start. Second, size of firm. Before starting a business, you consider that whether we want to do a business on large scale or we want to do business on small scale. Then choice of form of ownership. That is the third thing that you will keep in your mind, that whether I want to start a business singly or single-handedly, or I will do business in a partnership, or I will start a company, right? Then you have to decide about the location of the business enterprise, where my business will be located, where my manufacturing plant is to be located. Then you will see about financing the proposition, from where you will arrange funds or capital. Then physical facility, you will see whether building can be easily made at your business location, whether machinery can be easily be fixed at your business location. Manufacturing plant. Then plant layout, that is a map of a complete plant layout within your factory. Then you would be requiring a competent and committed workforce that you have to arrange before starting a business. Then you have to do certain tax planning, right? And last is launching the enterprise. This is how you launch a business enterprise. So these are the factors that you will consider before starting a business, right? This was your chapter 1. We had already completed through NCERT, and all these notes I have recapitulated. There are certain short answer type questions and some hot question, right? Higher order thinking skill questions that you have to do, study and read, right? So this our first chapter recapitulation is over. In my next video I would be discussing my second chapter. Second chapter also we will discuss from our notes, and we will study from NCERT. Both we will do, right? PDF and video will be provided to you. Thank you. Easy chapter, easy to understand. Thank you.